All right, now I'm
All right, I'll go
recording.
away then.
And 5, 4, 3.
Give me myself a second.
Thank you, Chris.
No, it's perfect.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not
don't
used to
change a
it.
thing. Happy Thanksgiving, motherfuckers! Welcome to the show.
I thought we weren't able to do that.
I'm like, I think we might not put this on YouTube, but I am recording it to put it on YouTube. Who cares anymore?
Right.
Welcome to the show. It's a Game Mess Decides. It's the podcast where we decide everything you should be thankful for, so you don't have to actually be thankful because you're an ungrateful bastard. Yeah, we're gonna just do a quick one, a very quick one, like barely an episode, honestly. I'm gonna say I'm thankful for going to Disney. It was a good time. And then I'm also thankful for the show and you guys carrying it last week. I appreciate it as always. Mike, you had an idea. You wanted to do a thing here. You had a pretty good idea, actually. I like this.
Yeah, it's a stupid but fun one. Just because for some reason I think about this a lot, but just video games I associate with November.
Yes.
Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, November used to be the gaming month, right? It was the month where the biggest stuff would come out without fail until it failed. And now it's like a lot of Novembers come and go with like, oh, nothing really happened. Or mid-sized big games, just not the biggest games of the year necessarily. So, yeah, there are a handful of things I definitely associate with this time of year.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it'd be fun to maybe narrow that one down if you're ready, sir.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm basically ready. I'm going to get a doc going here. But yeah, why don't you start us off while I get that going?
Yeah, I think a big one for me actually is Metroid Prime. That one I know came out like November something. It was that date that Nintendo loved in general for a
Right.
while. It's like November 21st or something. They kept releasing stuff on that day, sometimes even consoles. But yeah, Metroid Prime was positioned as a big holiday game for them on the GameCube, and I remember picking it up right away. And it's funny because as creepy as Metroid Prime could be, there is also a cozy factor to it. I think November is generally a very cozy month. The holidays are starting. Thanksgiving, of course, is maybe one of the coziest holidays. The weather is crisp in a generally pleasant way. There's something November coded about Metroid Prime.
Yeah, I definitely feel that way as well. You're at that date of like looking forward to November because of Metroid Prime was definitely in my head, and then kind of just took over once the reviews came out, and it was so huge. It definitely was like, oh, now this is all I can think about until I get a chance to play it. So yeah, that's definitely one that we should put up there. In fact, I am writing it down now in the doc that I have.
And even though like Metroid Fusion came out the same day, and I love Metroid Fusion, don't associate it with November as much.
Yeah, it doesn't have Phendrana drifts, which I definitely think of when it starts getting cold outside. So
yeah, absolutely.
I've mentioned this one a bunch of times. A rare game, Donkey Kong Country. I just, it came out. I think it must have came out in November, but even if it didn't, I associate it with November because we get to Thanksgiving break, and I just played it nonstop that Thanksgiving break after it came out. And even to the point where we had a huge family get together. Like my family hosted Thanksgiving for the extended family, and I was like in the basement, and like people can come down and hang out, and the people were definitely hanging out, and like I would let them play, but I was just like, when everyone goes back upstairs, I'm still down here just playing Donkey Kong Country and loving it. And the warm feeling of the house being filled with people and all the smells of all the cooking happening and the sounds of football being somewhere and Donkey Kong Country happening. It's still a sense memory I have to this day. So yeah. DKC.
Yeah, that one makes a lot. But you're right. It's funny because like even though a lot of the vibes are tropical or even pirate themed, there is something November-y about Donkey Kong Country. Absolutely,
yes, for sure.
I think of a lot of the Call of Duty games with November. A lot of them do get released in November. A lot of them get released in October also. But I actually have a pretty vivid memory of the first Thanksgiving when the Xbox 360 came out. We just had it plugged into a big TV, and we were doing Call of Duty 2 split screen matches, right? We had
Mm-hmm.
just, me, my brothers, and our cousin running around these maps that were far too big for just 2v2, but still having a really fun time with it. It was still, one of a lot of our first experiences with HD gaming, so it looked really crisp and really sharp. And I continue to always kind of have Thanksgiving, November vibes with a lot of the Call of Duty games, and I'm getting that a lot with this new one with Black Ops
Oh,
6, which
definitely,
is,
yes.
gosh, probably it was our metaphor, might be my most played game this November right now.
Which Call of Duty was it that you mentioned though, specifically?
Well, 2 is the one I have the memories of, so we
Okay.
can say Call of Duty 2.
Okay, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
With apologies to Perfect Dark Zero.
uh, okay, so when it comes to like November games, you're right that like there's a lot of dates that just stand out. This one might be the most November date, and that was 11/11, 11/11/11 actually for Skyrim. When Skyrim came out on November
Yeah.
11th, 2011. And I think about that date. It's not quite a 999, but it's the next
Pretty
step.
good.
It's pretty good still though, and to the point where they had like the 10-year anniversary, and it was like, oh yeah, now we're kind of doing 11/11/11, or it was 11/11 in in 2021. It's like, yeah, man, remember 11/11/11? So yeah, Skyrim, and Skyrim is a wintry Wonderland game, and you're walking around, and all the snow is everywhere, and it's definitely stuff that just made me feel cozy and warm playing this cold game. One big snow level. I love that.
You're right though, just like that release date alone, because it is so iconic. Right, everybody remembers that. That
Yep.
alone is absolutely associated with November so heavily. Like you say Skyrim, and one of the first like word bubble thought things is gonna just be that date.
That date, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it'll be like one of the bigger word bubbles. So, yeah. Yeah. What else?
Halo Combat Evolved, first Halo game, was a
Yes.
launch title for the first Xbox, so it came out November 15th, 2001. So I remember, getting this early in that hype, and just again, kind of almost similar to Call of Duty 2. It's like, whoa, look how futuristic this stuff is. It was a big deal almost immediately. And because it was right around Thanksgiving, you got to show a lot of your family this, look at this hot new incredible video game, and everybody wants to play split screen multiplayer matches. So yeah, there's something about Halo that definitely makes me think about kind of like people being around and people being excited. And again, one of the nice things about Halo is that it wasn't just the all gray, piss colored game. There was a lot of vibrant outdoorsy areas that are surprisingly cozy and comfy. I think that's a big part of why Halo is fun to play. It never really feels oppressive or anything like that.
Yeah, and for like all these massive games we're mentioning, like the game Halo might be the one where I most associate with a November release at the very least, because it was I don't know, something about like big games came out in November, especially after that, for a very long time. It felt like, and to me, in my mind, even though it maybe didn't start this way, in my mind, it started with Halo Combat Evolved. So, yep, for sure. And I looked it up. Donkey Kong Country also came out on November 21st, that Nintendo date. So
They love that date. They love that date.
they love that date. Yep. Obviously, it's probably like a certain day before Thanksgiving, right? Is what they really liked. But yeah, November 21st.
It is.
I know that we have Metroid Prime up there already and Donkey Kong Country, but there's like another November big Nintendo release that like definitely sticks in my mind. Ocarina of Time, right? That came out.
Oh,
That came out November '98, right?
it might have been October. Let me see real quick. Legend of Zelda. Although, oh no, November 21st is Japan, November 23rd America. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
November game for
No,
sure.
yeah, and it was like I'm pretty sure I remember that being one of those ones where I was looking forward to getting that around Thanksgiving, and then God, yeah, I must have played that for months though, because
It's such a good game to release as like you're going to get some long weekends from school
Yeah.
and winter break coming up, right? I
exactly.
think a lot of us spent those extra days off from school venturing around Hyrule.
Yep. I mean, I for a very long time I associated the 4-day weekend of Thanksgiving with just playing a game for that entire weekend. And it might have that Donkey Kong Country might have been the one that started that for me, but Ocarina of Time might actually be the more iconic one in the long run.
Half-Life 1 was actually right around the same time, Jeff. This is
Yep.
November 19th, 1998. I mean, this was that ridiculous fall of 1998
Yep.
where we got like Half-Life 1, Ocarina of Time, and Metal Gear Solid. Metal Gear Solid, I think, was actually released in October, but like all releasing around the same time, it all being just monumental games. You just literally felt the industry
Yeah.
change because of this handful of releases happening. And Half-Life 1 was so cinematic and just so neat and stood out from the kind of I don't want to say simple, but more like get the blue key to open the blue doors and just fight all the enemies and don't worry about it too much kind of shooter that we had been getting up to this point. And this sounds stupid, but there are like a lot of browns in Half-Life, and that's the Thanksgiving color, Jeff.
That is stupid, but you're not wrong. I definitely I know what you mean. Yeah.
It sounds dumb, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, but beyond, I think we probably have our 4 here. Are there a couple more you want to mention? Because I feel like I could start working from this list.
One more, and it's just like also it's a GameCube launch game, so it's November. But Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. Because there's so much nostalgia tied into that game, and I think Thanksgiving and especially Christmas later on, very nostalgic holidays.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, classic Star Wars is just as nostalgic as movies can get. Even though like the Star Wars movies always came out in the summer, there's just something about the holidays that I associate them with. Me, it's just because people are around. Those movies are always playing on TV, or somebody throws them in at one point or another. But definitely one of the games I played the most when the GameCube came out, and there is a big cozy factor there.
I don't remember when I got my GameCube. It must not have been at launch because I was like probably buying my own stuff by then. I don't. It was highly unlikely I would have been able to afford it, I think. So I'm like, but I got it not too long afterwards. Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe I don't know. Maybe I did get it because I had the demo disc, and I don't remember the game. I don't know. It was like right there. I'm like just trying to remember my personal history with it, but yeah, I definitely have associations with that game coming at that time for sure.
In fact, it was released a little bit before the GameCube launch. I remember it was like one of the games you could just buy before the system was actually out, which was weird.
Yeah, that's that. Okay, that does ring a bell now that you say that. Yeah. There's other games like Mass Effect. I'm looking at a list now. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate came out in November. Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out in November. Half-Life 2 and Halo 2 also came out in November. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. So again,
wow,
November was the month.
Yeah, Mass Effect was the one we said that I was most like, that is a Thanksgiving game.
Yes.
And I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the found family thing in it or something. I don't know. But maybe that one I would maybe want to consider because there is something about
I like that. I like that.
I do associate Mass Effect.
Me too.
Of the Mass Effect games, and a lot of them aren't very cozy. Mass Effect 1 has some coziness to it, right?
Definitely.
That slightly slower pace. The stakes aren't quite as high maybe as they get in some of the later ones in some ways. Yeah, there's like that very big section early in the game where you're just walking around that city, and there's some conflicts that show up now and then. But that's like my favorite thing in any of the Mass Effect games, and that feels very comfortable.
Citadel, yep. And Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out in November.
Yeah, I bet Grand Theft Auto would be a big one for a lot of people, and I can see that for sure. But
did I mention World of Warcraft? Yeah, lots of stuff.
Oh my God,
yep.
World of Warcraft is an anytime game, but yeah, that definitely happened in November for sure.
Yep. Okay, so the list we have now is Metroid Prime, Donkey Kong Country, Call of Duty 2, The Elder Scrolls V, Skyrim, Halo Combat Evolved, The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Half-Life, Star Wars, Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, and Mass Effect.
I think we have the 4 here for sure.
I think we do. All right, let me make a little room for that. All right, and then we can start.
Chris just sent me a message. He's upset I didn't include Rock Band. Which, gosh, I mean, he's not wrong. You did get your family to play Rock Band, but
that is something you would do. I think I personally remember getting the family together to play Guitar Hero, but yeah, Rock Band 2 as well. Yeah, for sure.
Does Mass Effect count because N7?
I mean,
and 7 Day is also during November. That's a good point.
That's a good point. Mass Effect might have a chance here. Might have a chance of making it.
Now Sean just messaged me saying Chris is right to be upset with me about Rock Band. Look, Chris ruined Rock Band a little bit for me. He made me play it too much. All right, and he still has to live with that.
He should have thought about that before he did that.
How dare he want to play games with me?
Sorry, I wanted to play with you.
Get out of here.
Get back in your Rock Band hole.
Your brother hole, brother.
All right.
What do you want to put up there?
Yeah, I mean, I do want to put Donkey Kong Country up there because it really
Sure.
does just like super sing to me for whenever Thanksgiving comes around. And so if this is our Mount Rushmore of November games, I kind of have to put it up there. And I think it's the one I would feel that way about, and then I'm kind of willing to hear you out on the rest.
Well, you definitely won me over with Skyrim, just that date. Right?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
I agree with that. And it's like, again, like then the game itself very much like, hey, you're getting into the winter. This is a game all about that. So just everything about Skyrim really works.
And then, gosh, I was feeling Mass Effect in a weird way, and then being reminded of N7 Day. And again, it's not Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving days. That's Thanksgiving games. That's part of
You're right. You're right.
That's part of it, but it's November games, and like, man, yeah, Mass Effect. Ooh, that's very November-y, isn't it?
Yeah, honestly,
So
when
many
you put
people
it that
doing
way, it'd be
playthroughs
weird if we
during
left it
then.
off
Yeah.
because November comes around and the first thing that that happens really is in 7 Day,
Mhm.
and the game came out in November.
I think Mass
All
Effect
right.
maybe needs to get
I like
thrown
that,
in
and
there.
you know what? I fucking love Mass Effect. I love
Yeah.
Mass Effect. I'm like,
It
I'm
is.
always looking like, do I have time for the Legendary Edition in my life? I think about that once a week.
God, I was really enjoying my playing through Mass Effect 1 again on there. I just bounced off because there's other things I had to
Yep.
do, but kind of wish I could get
I think
back
it's
to
on.
it.
I think Legendary Edition. If you're listening to this, probably still on sale for like $5 at a lot
my
of places.
God.
So just go get that shit, man.
That's like one that if Nintendo Switch 2 ports that should be on there
Yep.
on launch day. I think
Launch
get the
day.
Legendary Edition on there. That'd be awesome.
You get that. You get Elden Ring, a handful of other things, and that's a good launch for a system that needs some games at that time. Yeah. All right.
Yep.
That means one spot left. Although of course we can always move things down if we need to.
Yeah, I do like Metroid Prime a lot.
I
here.
think you're probably right about Metroid.
It's like the first
Prime.
game. If you tell me to name a game that came out in November, for some reason, Metroid Prime is the first one that comes to my head, even before Skyrim. Yeah.
Ooh.
Again, it's just there's something about it that is cozy. It's funny because it's like the opposite of like a rock band, where I could probably distinctly remember hiding away from my family to just be in my room and play Metroid Prime
Yep.
instead of being social.
Yep, totally. Yeah, and there's something about I don't know. That sounds like a November game to me. Again, because the game felt so important. That was the kind of game that would come out in November at that time. So yeah, I think I agree with that. So that means we are cutting Halo Combat Evolved. We're gonna get yelled at for that. Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Yeah, we'll get yelled at for that. And Half-Life. We probably won't get yelled at as much for Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader, although that's probably the one I would put up next, maybe.
Yeah, it feels very Thanksgiving/November-y to me. Again, they're all definitely very strong November games
Yes.
for sure.
And then Call of Duty 2, for sure. Okay, so our Mount Rushmore November games are Mike Minotti, please.
It is. In fact, I'm doing this from memory because I'm not looking
Okay,
at this, but I
let's
think
see what you
I
got.
can do this. I believe in myself. Donkey Kong Country, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Mass Effect, and Metroid Prime.
That is correct. And that is our Mount Rushmore of November games. I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was a good time. Yeah. Anything you're thankful for, Mike?
It's been a pretty wild year, Jeff. I'm thankful. I guess I'm supposed to do that more than New Year, but I got to travel a bunch this year, right? I got to see a lot of friends and do a lot of interesting things. So, yeah, I guess I'm grateful that I get to do this with you. I get to have my dream job, and it gets to continue to be a dream. So,
Yep.
yeah, I got a lot to be thankful for.
Yeah, here. Christian, I know you're not American, but are you
No.
do you have thankfulness in your culture? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm thankful to all. Yes.
Do you have
all-
thankfulness in your
A little
culture?
bit, not a lot. Okay.
Right,
I'm
of
a little
course,
bit
of course.
excited. Now I'm very thankful to all the workers on the industry that keeps this
Hell yeah.
this hobby alive. The thing I love so much, and I don't. Yeah, it's just that. Thank you guys, and you deserve better.
Christian, Argentina keeps coming up in my 90s dinosaur documentary. Did you know you had
Fuck
so
yeah.
many dinosaur bones there?
Yes, my
Cool.
uncle, he found a fossil back in the day.
Whoa, that's
Yeah,
cool.
a big like a huge armadillo. They have it on the
Awesome.
museum over there. It's pretty cool.
Sean, you want to hop in with anything you're thankful for?
Yeah, maybe a little cheesy, but I am thankful to you guys. I
Of
wouldn't
course.
have the career I have right now if it weren't
Uh,
for you guys and becoming friends with you and then working with you and now having the day job I have. And I do want to say that I'm thankful to the audience that we have because I know things have looked different in the past, year or so of Game Mess. And I'm grateful that people stick around with
they
what
roll with the
it looks
punches,
like
right?
now.
They really do.
Exactly. We've all of us here, everyone on the call has been busy with our various day jobs that we have and everything, and things are shifting around. But the fact that everyone shows up still and maybe even comes in from new sources because it seems like we're even like growing a little, which is kind of cool. I'm just thankful that I get to have, like Mike alluded to with his I'm thankful that I get to have my dream job now and get to do very cool stuff with you guys and have an audience who gives a damn about what I think, what you guys think, and everything. And in a more material sense, God, I'm thankful for his Steam Deck because I've been so fucking busy this year
Yep.
that I'm just thankful that I get to play video games still wherever I may be.
Yep, here to that as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chris Minotti, what are you thankful for?
I would have been thankful for my brother Mike if he played Rock Band with me, but I'm pretty content now. I've gotten over it.
That's fair. Poor Chris would do things when we were growing up, be like, "Hey, who wants to play catch with me?" I'd be like, "Go away! I'm playing a video game by myself."
But I would even ask for things like, let's play Pokemon cards. And no, they just
Yeah, and I was
wanted
like,
to
"No,
play
I'm
on their
busy playing
computers.
this Pokemon card video game on my Game Boy
Uh-huh.
against computers."
Yeah, my life is a drama, as you can see.
Poor Chris being the most normally like social
That
person in our
definitely, yeah,
family.
that sounds about right. Yeah. Well, yeah, thanks to all you guys. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody who listens and supports us in any way. And that does just mean listening, tuning in, interacting with us in any way on social media or in the comments or whatever. Just the fact you guys take time out of your lives to spend any of it interacting with us means a lot to me. So really, really appreciate it. And we're going to keep doing this because it somehow continues to be a ton of fun. It really does. So look out for more of us from in the future, going into 2025 and beyond. And make sure you have a safe and happy holiday. If you celebrate, if you're somewhere else in the world, appreciate that we're mostly going to be shutting up in America for a couple of days because we're all just going to be too busy doing other things. So that's our gift to you.
Hey, let's go.
And we'll be back next week. It will get busy again right after that, very soon here. In a couple of weeks, we're going to be traveling for the Game Awards and Giant Bomb Game of the Year and all this stuff. But we're going to have plenty of fun stuff for you. And Mike's right. We will figure out what our Game of the Year is going to look like for Game Mess here in a little bit. Get you over here. I got a better mic set up now, so maybe we'll fix that echo that has caused Christian so many headaches in past years where he had to edit that. You guys got any fun plans for Black Friday?
No,
Gonna just stay inside? Yeah, man, it's not what it once was.
no, I'm going out tomorrow and later Thanksgiving actually. So I'll be having some fun. But Black Friday, I do a lot of my actual Christmas shopping online on Black Friday.
Oh yeah, same. Thanks for listening, everybody. Catch you next time. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
I am an animal.
I don't know what it says, but it's called thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your gaming.
Master Chief comes